Welcome to
What?
BrooklynWaterCoffeeRoasters.com. Sorry, I had to do it.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to a special crossover show here on Cinesports Talk Network. We're doing a little crossover show between the Put in the Book show and the Empire 161 show. Mets and Yankees coming together to show you that we can coexist. We can do it. It's possible. I am Steve. Got Rodriguez right here to my left. And if you just hop and skip right over him. Oh, what is... Okay, Joe. Joe's screwing me over. Tim now is to my left. I'll say Ed.
What's up, everybody?
Ed from the 161 show, Empire 161, right below there.
What up?
Keith, if I give you a little hook shot over.
You know my camera, so I'm not headless.
There you go. And I think I did Rodriguez already, but just in case, he's down in that corner down there, all the way down there. And producer Joe, kind enough to help us out today. He's behind the glass, and now he's in the middle there. Yeah. All right. As you can plainly see, we're adjusting to life with more than 3 to 4 people on the show. All right. So as we normally do on the Put in the Book show, we're going to toss it over to Keith so he can talk to us about Brooklyn Water Coffee Roasters.
.com, spelled like it sounds. BrooklynWaterCoffeeRoasters.com, from the roaster to your front door. Only the finest beans are picked for you and you alone. Every time you order a bag, he goes and picks them out for you, and he says your name after every bean he picks, and then he grinds them one bean at a time. No, I'm just kidding. But they do pick only the finest beans from all over the world for their coffee. There's a whole bunch of different flavors and lines that they have. One of them is their 50% more caffeine line, which includes Cinnabuzz, one of my favorites, delicious coffee, and it gives you that little extra kick in the morning. Then there's also what we like to call our friend Rodriguez, the jacked up cupcake, which is also 50% more caffeine per cup. Then there's also the, oh wait, hold on. How many calories are in those 2 flavors I mentioned, Frachi? I forgot.
Hold on, I gotta get my calculator out real quick.
Hard, I tell. 3 and 3 is 7, 6 and 6 is
Settle.
9. Boom! There we go. Then there's also another delicious flavor called Dark Roast Dark Chocolate, which is not a part of the high energy line, but it is also one of the most delicious flavored coffees and most popular flavored coffees out there. And that has, hold on, 3 and 3 is 7, 7 to 7 is 2, divided by 4. How many calories is that again? I forgot.
I missed kind of what you did, but it's Seto.
Boom! There's also, if you're not into flavors and stuff like that, that's cool. They can accommodate you. One of their most popular coffees is the medium roast. Delicious, beautiful. Mwah! Magnifique. C'est bon.
I like it.
Yes. And that also has how many calories?
Also Seto.
Boom. So check them out right now, www.brooklynwatercoffees.com. I'm not going to spell it for you because if you can't spell it, you don't deserve to drink it. Buy 2 bags.
Or it's just down there on the bottom.
That's
it was there on the bottom. Just make me out to be a liar.
And you'll get your 3rd bag free using the code on the bottom as is stated. Mask on. That's all capital letters. That means don't use low letters. That means the O is an O and not a 0. Mask on. www.brooklynwatercoffeeroasters.com. Guaranteed to ship within 24 hours of its roast date. And if you miscalculate, that's 1 day after its roasting date. BrooklynWaterCoffeeRoasters.com. Check them out now. Should I drag out that now? Do you need more time?
Excellent. No, we're good. Every time you say the mask on, I think of the clapper. Mask on, mask off, mask on, the masker.
You know what's funny? When I was a kid, when the clapper came out, and they sell them in New York, for all of you New Yorkers out there who know Genovese, they sold them at the Genovese. So I had one of my family members buying me the clapper.
Not the crime family.
And it has a sensitivity level on the clapper. And instead of clapping, my brother and I would just yell, because if you continue your voice in high enough pitch and long enough, it'll turn off whatever it's plugged into on and off. We go on, off, and it was hysterical, right? But these days, everything's plugged into a freaking voice command. Turn this on, turn that off. It's like
or like in your case, Christmas on.
Oh yeah, I've showed you my Christmas on. Yes.
Yes, very good.
I'm not going to get into that, but you'll see that on our Christmas shows coming up. Let's go Mets.
Yeah, for sure. All right,
Right, Ed? Let's go Mets.
let's get into some Subway Series talk here. And I think because we're logged into a few different areas here, producer Joe, every time that you say something, all three sites are saying it. So it's going to come up trips down there. Diana, welcome. Always a pleasure to have you. Great game tonight. We did it for Tom. Yes, the Mets
Trips,
did do
I
it
feel
for
like I'm playing CeeLo in the corner.
CeeLo. But we have to remind ourselves this is not just a Mets show. This is a Mets and Yankees Subway Series show. So good game, sloppy game tonight to close it out. I about wanted to tear down my TV when Billy Hamilton attempted to steal third base. And I'm sure you guys did the same with what's his name taking off on a shallow fly ball to right and getting doubled off in the 10th. But in a crazy 2020 season and 5 games in 3 days and extra innings being the 8th inning twice on Sunday. Thankfully, we go into extra innings again today. So 3 extra inning games out of the 6 games. Timmy, we spoke yesterday, and you said the Mets are going to win that game because it's either we split the season series or one team dominates, and it's typically you guys. But what did you think about the series this year?
What just happened? We just lost everybody again, didn't we?
Don't mind that. We have a producer, so things move around here.
I'll tell you. One minute I was there, 1 minute I was gone. I know what the hell was going on. I always say they're going to split the series. That's how it always seems to be. One team either dominates, always split it. Tonight was one of those sloppy-ass games. Yankee bullpen was non-existent, unfortunately. But also with Tom Seaver, I had a feeling the Mets were going to pull this one out just strictly for him alone. They did what they had to do in the late innings, and our bullpen did not.
Can I just say
we have usually the opposite?
We have a special guest. You mind if I bring in our special guest?
Yeah, let's bring on a special guest.
His name is George, the number one Mets fan in the world, Panagitopoulos.
Now, wait a second,
my buddy George.
His name is Yoda. Yoda Panagitopoulos.
George, you there, buddy? Hold on.
Now wait, it is.
Yeah, there he goes.
There he is.
G-Mo.
George, what was George our first ever caller, or was that Pat?
No, George was our first ever caller. Pat was our most consistent caller a couple years back.
Yes. George, how's it going, buddy?
So, George, there you go, buddy. So, George and I, just to give a kind of quick introduction.
What up, G?
George, Timmy, and I have known each other since sperm cell days. George and I, pretty much our entire childhood, would walk from 67th Street in Woodside or Roosevelt all the way up to Shea Stadium, probably for about, what would you say, G, about 50, 60 games a year?
Oh my God!
Yeah, we were there just about every home game, George and I. So George and I are huge Met fans, and the reason why I asked George to come, not only because he's lifelong buddy, but George and I were actually at the first ever Subway Series regular season game. That's not called the Governor's game or anything like that. When they started introducing Intraleague, and you remember who was pitching that day, right?
Yep, that was back in '97.
Malicki,
yes.
Maybe the best game
Crazy.
I've ever been to, and the greatest celebration ever after that, because first time we played, and there were so many Met fans, and the Yankee fans left that, obviously, and many kids at home with the Met fans were going through the whole stadium. The greatest feeling ever.
So George and I stood
out of left field there, Malicki.
George and I stood in there, where the escalator wells were in the old Yankee Stadium, and yelled at just about every Yankee fan that passed us. George and I probably provoked like 37 fights in a 10-minute period, every 10-minute period, yelling at every single Yankee fan that passed by us, telling them to go home. You're in our stadium.
But then we got together with some other big.
You were bad. Yes.
And we just stayed with them.
Tim would have unfriended us for a couple of years, definitely. Tim would have abandoned our friendship.
Tim, were you not there?
Not with us.
No, but did Tim go on his own or?
I
Tim
think
looked
Tim's
very-
frozen.
Tim looks very serious.
Tim had to be frozen.
I thought Tim got
He's
frozen.
very
Yeah.
focused.
No, unfortunately,
He is
I would have had to fought with you. You know,
Oh, you would have fought with us. We would have not been friends for at least 12 hours.
Let's
Yeah.
break. We were on a break.
I even moved. I moved where the Wi-Fi is good.
That's your spot. That's usually your spot. All right. Well, while you get unfrozen.
No, I mean I would have
let's-
fought with you as far as I would have with you.
Like,
Oh, you would have. You would have defected.
Oh no, I don't think it would have had anything to do with fandom. It's like he's gonna.
Nothing.
Yeah,
you know,
your
Yeah,
boys
they-
over fandom.
Baseball.
Boys over fandom.
I'm gonna fight with my boy. Yeah, of course.
Yes. All right. So George, as we were rolling along here, we were. I was just asking everybody's opinion on the series this year. You know, the craziness of it being 2020, and 5 games in 3 days, extra inning games that wasn't even a regular 9-inning game. So what was your take on the Subway Series from 2020?
It's a very aggravating. It's a very aggravating season, especially for our Mets. For Mets fans, we blew so many games like already. We had so many more. The Mets and Yankees series, we should have won that other game that we blew in the ninth inning. That was maybe the worst loss ever. So I'm disappointed. As far as the 7 innings doubleheaders, you have to do that now. So I get it. It's annoying, it sucks, but it makes sense.
1 year and done. I don't want to see this anymore.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 1 year and done. Absolutely. I'm done with the guy. The guy on second base. That rule might stay around though. I wouldn't be shocked.
No. No. I want no part of that thing.
I think the DH is staying,
DH for sure.
and I'm fine with it now at this point. At this point, you
Especially
might
the way
as
our
well
team
do
is
it.
built, right, G? Like our team
Yeah,
is.
we need
Yeah.
the DH. It's not, JD might have to sit or Dominic Smith, and we want them playing. So you have the DH. One of them always plays.
All right, Rodriguez. What were your thoughts on the Subway Series this year? A little up and down like a roller coaster, right?
Thank God that we split it. I'll tell you that right now, because I could not do this if that game didn't we split that series right now, man. I'd be a miserable son of a gun. Tim knows it. I'd be nice to Tim, but that's about it probably. I couldn't take it. It was a good series, man. I mean, at the end of the day, we both played shitty ball. Both teams sucked and played bad ball. I mean, why is Billy Hamilton stealing third base?
Oh my God.
Oh my God! Horrible.
Second with no outs. I mean, why is that kid on the Yankees running?
But then Tyler Wade's like, hold my beer.
Exactly.
What's
Yeah.
going on? I mean, it's like, do they understand fundamentals? Have they ever played baseball before? I mean, it was. I'm really relieved that we were able to split this series.
I'm glad we didn't face him 2 weeks ago, Rodriguez. We would have been getting our asses kicked.
I expected a beatdown. When Chapman came in and then Billy Hamilton got thrown out of third, I was
I
like,
thought it was over after that.
Hold on. Can I just ask, what is it with the 2 New York closers and smiling after they give up home runs?
I kind of think
Yeah,
it's
no
that
one tried,
you
so
know
that's-
when you screw up bad and then you just don't know.
So,
what
you're
else
so
to do.
bad.
I have
Yeah,
no
so
idea.
you're like,
There's
whatever.
nothing better, nothing else for me to do
Yeah.
other than
what are you
smile.
gonna do?
Okay.
You can't.
Yeah.
You're not gonna
Like
cry.
when you
I
slip
mean,
on ice, well, I mean, the Florida guys might not know, but when you slip on ice and you bust your ass, you got to be the first one to laugh. Otherwise, then no one else laughs at you.
Right.
I slip on ice like when you pour too much out of your refrigerator and it falls on the floor.
Oh, there you go. All right. Well, good point.
Or my favorite thing was to stand on 61st Street in front of Pepino's, have a beer and watch people bust their ass while they come out of the bars drunk. But those are the old days.
The Met fans were coming off those trains on those days too.
Yeah, I
All
think
the
you and
parties
IG one day were sitting there. Was it me and
Stumbling
you?
around.
Some guy busted his ass and I went, asshole.
I think it's happened like a few times.
It did, yes.
All right, let's move down to Ed. Ed, your thoughts on this year's Subway Series? Much different from every other Subway Series.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the split's there. Everyone's pretty much said it. Neither team played great ball. Yanks are running out there. I've told you it was like their road split squad lineup out there, but
Yep.
you can't make excuses for it though. They're just not playing good ball. They got their butts kicked by the Rays in between. Either all the games could have went either way. They were exciting. They weren't boring. I'll tell you that much. Like, there's a lot of people who say, "Oh, they're over the novelty of the Subway Series." I mean, it has a little juice. It's mostly from the fans. So
I still love it. I
No,
love the
there's
interleague
still
stuff.
always a lot of good games, whether we both suck or not. The Mets Yankees, there's always some type of comebacks on both sides. It's really never over. I thought we were done today, and then the Mets come back.
And then a couple days ago, we give up a 5-run lead in the seventh in the last inning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
That's when I started the show.
Because people can't catch the ball and tag the runner who's not sliding into third base.
It might be from the not enough practice, but so sloppy baseball this year everywhere, but especially with the Mets. Horrible.
You really see the impact of a 60-game season. I mean, the way the Mets are playing, this would be okay. It's still early. We're hanging in there. We're doing well. It's a 60-game season. Crap! What's happening? We need to win the next 10. I mean, it's so stressful. It is like we all said in the beginning of the season. It's the sprint season, and it does add an excitement factor. I have to be honest. I don't like it. I don't want to go forward, but I'm enjoying it the way it is right now. It adds a little it adds a little excitement, and it's some right. We'll take it.
Half the league is in the playoffs. We might need that. So
Yep.
listen, we might need that too. I mean, it'll be hard to win AL East this year at this point. But like you were saying, the 60-game season adds, it's unusual. It adds a lot of excitement. I kind of felt that way about the runner on second, the extra innings. I don't want to see it again, but I can't say it's been dull. I mean, it has you on the edge of your seat like, oh, shit.
I mean, that's why I don't think they're going to get rid of that for some reason.
If one of the rules had to stay, I agree. I think that would be the one that would probably stick, but I still think it's not going to, Or I heard DH suggesting like maybe adding it in the 14th inning or something like that. They were talking about in the Yankee broadcast.
The runner on second?
Yeah, that they would maybe start implementing that later in like the 14th inning is the number that's going to get thrown around.
I hate
Producer
that
Joe.
Joe,
you got
What is this?
Producer
crap?
Joe has Rodriguez's face covered by the logo.
You're advertising.
What is this crap?
well, Tim's gone.
Producer Joe.
It's like a Mike Tyson tattoo. What is this shit on my face?
There you go. And the worst part is it's the Empire 161 that's covering your face.
So I was always so opposed, and if you watch the Put in the Book show, or you know me from Met Talk, and I talk a lot of Met smack because that's what we do as Met fans. The thing that really turned my opinion on the whole entire DH thing was the Grom swing. And any Met fan
a couple
knows
years ago.
what the Grom swing means. The guy took a swing and held his rib cage. It was right, Rodriguez. Yeah, he held his rib cage. He took a swing. And after that, I was like, we need a DH. No more pitches batting. Yeah, but
I'm good with the DH. I'm good with the DH. It makes it a better team.
I'm good. At this point, I used to not be, but now it makes sense.
Was it the Grom swing that changed your mind too, G, or what?
Yeah. Seriously, a lot of these pitchers don't want you don't want a freak injury.
I got to tell you, Ed, you're a trooper right now because Tim keeps on getting knocked out, and it's a 4-on-1 right now. 4-on-1 assault.
Well, let's be fair. Let's talk a little Yankees.
What assault? Nothing's bothering.
No. It's just you're in the opposing team stadium right now. It feels that.
Okay, but let's be fair. Let's talk.
This is like the first Mets and Yankee game. This reminds me of '97.
Well, Ed,
I hate Stanton.
Left.
And it's not because
hanging out.
Yeah, no, but Ed's a good guy.
Ed is a good guy.
I watched Ed and Tim's show.
Yeah, that's a good show.
It is a very good show,
Yeah.
and I love the intro, of course.
I mean, Putting the Books is better.
It's the best Yankee show out there going today.
It's the only one I've ever seen.
Exactly.
Well, that's all
the
you
only
need.
one I'll watch.
That's all you need then.
I don't hate on the Yankees really because I can care less unless we're playing them. If I'm playing them, I really hate them. Otherwise, I can care less. But truthfully, I am happy. I am happy that Stanton sucks because I hate Stanton. I hate him as a Marlin.
He doesn't
And
play.
it does give me pleasure to know that you guys are paying him $30 million a year, and you got like a full-time Cespedes on your hands for the next 7 years. I love it. It does make me happy. I can't lie.
You should feel for them for that part.
No, I don't because I hate Stanton.
Well, Keith, do you hate Stanton because he used to destroy City Field constantly?
Exactly.
Killed us. Killed us.
You know,
I know that.
That's the truth.
I don't blame you then. It's fine.
I'm not gonna lie.
It's like why I despise Pedro Martinez. It has nothing to do with the Mets. It has all to do with the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Right.
The Yankee injuries are crazy.
He's in the city that I pay attention to, so I get to closely watch him suffer and suck, and it makes me happy.
So we have a Braves fan watching a Mets and Yankees show.
Interesting.
This is good stuff. And before I ask Ed the question I was going to ask you, very interesting to see. Obviously, R.I.P. Tom Seaver, the franchise. But one of the things that came out was that he was this close to being a Brave, and if he had not started his season already in California, if his season had not started already in Southern California, then he would have been a Brave, and it would have been the Mets would have even been worse, to start off their franchise. But Ed, getting back to the DH stuff for hopefully the National League takes on the DH moving forward. But how does that go for you guys in the American League? Because you guys have to make the adjustment when you play interleague games in a National League ballpark. You always got to sit one of your guys. Like hate to bring them up, but the Red Sox always sit Ortiz. That's a big bat. So how do the American League teams feel, about the DH coming to the National League?
I mean, it has to be a huge advantage, or at least it alleviates us having to sit bats that our team are built around. They're usually middle of the order bats that don't have to sit now, so they get to play, the whole time. And also, the Yankees specifically lost Ching-Ming Wang. He was our ace, at one point, and he goes ahead and is running in Houston, rounding third, and ends his career essentially on that. So it's fine. I mean, we don't really have to adjust much. It's just that we don't have to be at that massive disadvantage in the National League ballparks when we sit one of the guys that are usually our middle of the order guys doesn't have to sit anymore. He has to play all 162 games now. So, I mean, it's a good thing. So yeah, you guys have the DeGrom swing. We have Ching-Ming Wang rounding third in Houston.
Yes.
Right. There's always that one memory, right, Ed? It scars you for life.
That's it. It's like if I ever needed anything to say there should be universal DH, bam, Ching-Ming Wang.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Tim is back. I'm not sure how it's going there.
He's frozen.
But
if there he goes.
But all right. So George, I don't know if you're going to stay with us through the entire show, but a couple of things that we're going to talk about, and we can start it up now. Is favorite memory of the Subway Series from your perspective, of course, and then we're also going to so we'll do a little round robin with that, and then we'll head back around with one player that you would steal from the other team since Interleague has started. So we can start off with you just in case you gotta head out.
No, I'm available for as long as you guys want me on. I'm good.
Okay. All right. So, Keith, why don't you? So we'll go in some type of order here. What's your favorite Subway Series memory?
I might be stealing George's. George, I'm sorry, but it is definitely the first game ever when Malicky pitched. George and I were at that game, and I remember Bobby Valentine. It was a big stink to change the rotation. Don't start Malicky. Bobby Valentine went with his rotation. He said, "This is my rotation. This is how we play." We went into Yankee Stadium, and Malicky pitched a really good game. I forget who hit a home run.
Nobody hit a home run that game.
Nobody. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think anybody.
It was like a 1-zip or 2-zip game, but
Guilty had a good game. Olerud had a good game.
Olerud always has a good game, but that is definitely my favorite game, and I'm a little biased on that because I was actually there, and it was just so much fun, and I got to experience that with my Met fan buddy George, and one of the best times of my life going to that game, hands down.
Rodriguez, you see what Chris Kelly is saying? I mean that game.
He's probably three sheets to the win right now. He's probably drank like 17 Michelob Lights or whatever he drinks. Who knows? He's like 5'7", 722 pounds. He barely moves out of his chair. I'm not worried about Chris Kelly telling me I'm a has-been.
All right. Well, the Maliki game is obviously the one that started it all, and so that came out of left field because Maliki wasn't a shutout pitcher. But you know that's where you see some of the performances that just come out of the blue in these scenarios. So let's go to Ed, so we can alternate Mets and Yankees here. Favorite Subway Series moment?
That where I was at like live for, or just in general?
Just in general.
I mean, it's going to be hard for me not to say Piazza flying out to Bernie Williams to end the 2000 World Series. I mean, that would be kind of a given. I mean, Jeter also leading off the game with his home run pretty much after the Yanks had dropped
Bobby
the game.
Jones.
And, offer Bobby Jones and pretty much kind of like making a statement like, you know, we're back on track now. We're going to course correct here. Yeah. It would, there's a lot of moments. The 2000, World Series was pretty wild. There's a lot.
Did he leave a gift basket for Bobby Jones that night?
I think Bobby Jones had to sign the NDA and everything, whatever.
Yes. All right. Let's head back to a Met guy. Rodriguez, your favorite Subway Series moment?
About an hour ago. It was
an hour ago. Okay.
Right before this show, I needed that. So it's my favorite moment.
That's because it was needed.
I just needed
but it was a good moment, regardless.
Yeah.
It was a great moment. And for me, I don't remember moments. I watched the game. I don't care. But this moment that just happened 10 minutes ago, half an hour ago, it's pretty good.
It was pretty good. It was a sweet moment on the Met side of it. Is Tim here? Oh, he's covered by the logo.
I think he is.
Timmy.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Timmy, can you hear me?
Absolutely.
I'm having a lot all of a sudden.
All right. Well, Tim, what is your
You can hear me good?
favorite?
I got you guys a little gurgly in slow motion.
Yeah, we can hear you good. I'm blocked. Somebody else want to give him a thumbs up?
Okay.
I'm blocked by the logo. But we're good. What is your favorite Subway Series moment?
He's frozen again.
He's thinking.
Wow. I think I know what he's going to say, but.
All right, Ed. Say it then.
Yeah, if he can correct me.
Send me the link, and I'll get in
okay.
there through my phone.
Okay.
Send me the link. I'll go through my phone.
We're gonna make up the moment for you.
Make one up if you want.
Well, Ed, what do you think it's going to be? And
I think he's going to go with Luis Castillo. We were actually at that game together, and it was just nuts because we're there, and then it was like two Met fans that were kind of like pretty loud that game about it. And they as soon as the ball was in the air, they jumped up and they're screaming and they're spinning around, and we stood up to see over them. And then obviously he dropped the ball. What happened? They literally collapsed. It was like they looked like Craig Elo when Jordan hit the freaking game winner against them. It was like went to the side, and that was it. They sat there, I think, until like until they stopped playing New York, and then they were like escorted out. It was crazy.
So that game, A-Rod was up, and we're about ready to close it out, and I get down on one knee next to my bed here, and I'm watching. Got a couple of guys who root for the Yankees, but not because they're Yankee fans or anything. They're just front runners. Yeah. And he pops the ball up, and I'm like, yes! And I get up, fists in the air, and I see him stunt his footwork. And I'm like, this mother is gonna drop this ball. He's gonna drop. Oh my God! He dropped the ball.
I was nervous the whole time for that pop up from the beginning.
He was like stumbling over his own feet.
I think George will share the sentiment. Maybe even Rodriguez or Frachi too. I know definitely George. Castillo is definitely one of the most hated Mets of our lifetime. Like his whole existence, how he got on the team, how he played, his injury.
Is he really good against us? Then when he came with us, he sucked completely.
Terrible.
I'd rather
and we signed him to a 4-year deal.
That's always worse.
You know,
4 years.
He's still
It felt like
behind.
12.
He's still behind Bayerga and a few others. Jason Bay. You know, he's still behind a few others though.
I won't go too far because it's not relative to the show. But one show you need to come back on, and we're going to tell the Bayerga get a hit, please. Story.
Yeah.
Bayerga and Vizcaíno for Jeff Kent. That was my mom. Hi, Mom. All right, Timchala Tabala, you're back.
I'm back.
You're looking fluid now. You're good.
All of a sudden, the computer decided to crap out on me, so I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it wouldn't be one of our shows if not for technology stuff. So I asked Ed to guess what you would choose. So before we go into it, what's your choice for your favorite Subway Series moment? Let's see if Ed got it right.
I heard what he picked, and that is one of them. It's because we were there. And we had two really annoying people in front of us, and I really wanted to slap somebody that day. He was close, very, very close. But no, actually, one of my favorite moments, I think I said it the other day, a simple moment, was El Duca getting the ball stuck in his glove.
Yeah.
And throwing the entire glove to first base. I thought that was hysterical. I think I laughed for about 3 innings about that. I couldn't stop laughing. I just thought it was cool. And the second one, Ed, you remember your old teacher, what's his name, who did all the videos that we all... in your school?
Bill?
Mario,
yeah.
He had got me and Sam into doing a film crew for like a little thing they were shooting. And we end up in Scores, the strip club, filming with strippers around. And on the TV, on the TV was the Subway Series.
Well, that's heaven. The strippers and Subway Series.
And I remember Paul O'Neill getting a good hit that day. So I was like, this is a good game. This is a real good game.
All right. So I think it's me. And there's my mom saying, I think this is the first time I didn't curse Diaz. I did it the first at bat when he went from 0-2 and he walked the guy to lead off. Mine is I thought about a couple of, and there's a few that come to mind, but for me it has to be David Wright's base hit over the head of who was playing center field. And was it not Ellsbury? Johnny Damon, and it's over his head. Yeah, the game winning. I was deciding between that and the Matt Franco hit off of Rivera in the ninth inning at Shea back in the day. I think it was like 98-ish, 98, 90. But and the Matt Franco thing was he was just a tremendous pinch hitter, and to get a game winning hit off of Rivera, even though it was early in his career. It might have been just the first few years of him being a closer after he took over for Wetland.
Mm-hmm. I go with the David Wright Mariano as well. It was a good one. And, of course, the Manicki game. I think Jeter was the last out of that game as well.
He was, yeah.
Struck him out on a curveball, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, he was last.
That's how good Malicki was that game.
Yeah.
That game only. That he froze Jeter with a curveball to end the game. I mean, the stars aligned, for Malicki.
No,
Malicki. Ward number 38, I think. All right, so let's Chicken Malicki. Let's go to the other thing that we're gonna discuss, and that is the one guy that we would steal from the other team since the Subway Series has started. I know this is going to be difficult for some of us.
So since 97 till now.
Yeah.
Yes, from 97 until right now. If you had to take one guy from the other team for the 23-year period, who would it be? Let's start with we kind of have to start with a Met just to balance it out here because we got a Mets. Yeah, let's go with Georgie.
I'm doing Mariano easy because our closers are always horrible. Giving Mariano on the team changes everything.
he would change everything, right?
Yeah. No Benitez, none of that. Give me Soriano, for that long, it would have been very different.
Let's go with Tim next because he had that thinking face rub thing going on.
Thinking man.
Well, the two,
Yes.
I think the two are very obvious, and I think if I pick one, Ed's going to pick the other. So I'm going to have to say Jacob deGrom. Why wouldn't I take Jacob deGrom right now? The best pitcher going right now.
Yeah.
I would steal him in a heartbeat without even thinking about it.
Do you remember, Tim? I think it might have been the first season or the second season when we were talking about the constant rumors of deGrom getting traded, Syndergaard being traded, and it was the back page of the Daily News. It had deGrom and Syndergaard both in Yankee jerseys, I think it was. And we were going back and forth. What would you take? What would you want? So that the rumors at least were there for that.
Syndergaard, take him.
No.
Oh, come on. Tom Glavine.
No, come on.
All right, Chris Kelly. All right.
Wow.
You could have Tom Glavine,
That's
Dave.
right. Cab driver, toothless driving. Anyway.
All right, Ed. Oh wait, sorry. Let's go to a Met. Rodriguez. Who would you steal from the Yankees from '97 until now?
From '97 until now, well, George took the first guy I thought of because we do need a freaking closer for sure. But I take the guy they have right now. I take Cole. I mean, the guy's nasty. I mean, if you're just talking about pitchers, I'll take Cole and I'll take deGrom and Cole, and I'll win myself 2 or 3 World Series.
You did the opposite of Tim. Both brains thinking very wisely there. Very good. I knew your heart is pitch. Rodriguez's heart is with pitching, so I knew he was going with the pitcher there. Ed, what do you think?
So I actually was giving it some thought because I'm like, all right, I'm not going to go with deGrom because Tim took him. That's a given. I was thinking about David Wright because he would have helped us avoid the entire A-Rod.
Don't you dare, Ed. Don't you dare.
No, but you could tell me
I'm kidding.
But no, hold on. But his career, if I know his career is going to play out the way it did and it gets shortened, unfortunately, then I went another way. I even thought about Billy Wagner at one point to set up for Rivera because we had the Jay Witosick fiasco. We had Tom Gordon fiasco. Like, the setup man was a problem. But I landed on Carlos Beltran. If he succeeds Bernie Williams and takes off from there, I'm good with that. And even though we got him eventually. But that's what I'm saying. I considered nixing him because we got him eventually, but I wanted prime Carlos Beltran.
Prime Beltran.
Not later Carlos Beltran. So if you give me prime Carlos Beltran to come in right after Bernie Williams, I'm good.
He was in his prime the whole entire Met career, let's be honest. So
that's what I'm saying. That's
which is
Beltran I want.
He was definitely the best Met center fielder ever, and Rodriguez loves him. He's one of Rodriguez's favorite guys.
My favorite cheater.
My favorite cheater. Yeah, and that's the opposite of most of the time with the. Actually, it's with a couple of my teams, the Mets and the Knicks. They get names, but they're never in their prime. The Mets grab Tom Glavine after the strike zone is being closely monitored, and he no longer gets that outside corner, well the outside part of the corner. Yeah. And the Knicks get all the Penny Hardaway and
Steve Francis and Stephon Marbury.
Waste.
Marbury hurt because I was excited about that one. And then that was just the start of Isaiah Thomas just being a disaster with Eddie Curry.
Oh boy.
Oh, Eddie Curry was your boy.
He was. I was. But then when a friend of mine who's a big Knicks fan, he's like rubbing it into my face when that trade happened. I'm like, dude, he has heart condition. You can have him.
He was rubbing it in you. There was nobody that I knew that was happy about it.
No, he was excited. I just gave him a blank stare. I'm like, you can have him. I'll go pick him up from the airport. I'll drive it. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
I mean, he even tried the Pat Riley down here tried to. Pat Riley can't do it, then nobody can do it.
That's 100%.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a little favor to everybody. I'm gonna add Frozen Tim. We're gonna ask Frozen Tim's opinion.
Oh,
Frozen Tim.
That's a good-looking guy over there.
Really handsome guy. I'd bang him.
Mr. Laris has joined us. Jerky rules. Hey, and you guys in the chat, feel free to let us know. You know, if you're a Met fan, tell us who you would steal from the Yankees since '97. If you're a Yankee fan, tell us who you would steal from the Mets since '97. Keith,
you're a Braves fan.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Everybody except
if you're a Braves fan, just sit back and watch.
Everybody except Ed and Tim is going to get pissed off at my pick.
If you're a Red Sox fan, go fuck off.
You guys pick Cole.
That's 100%.
Yeah. Scott Peterson, eat shit. If you picked, I already Mariano, Cole. I mean, you know these guys.
Hold on, timeout. I didn't even notice George left. George's back.
Oh, he's back. There he goes.
My phone overheated. It said the app is making your phone overheat.
Wow.
And it shut the app. I got
you must have an Android.
Know what it is?
Yeah.
It's because
he does have an Android. Yes. Victory.
Because I'm so hot. No, shut up, you and your Apple crap of nonsense crap. Little culty, little nonsense.
I will not bow down to Apple.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, they keep on overheating.
You know what?
I like my iPhone.
You're lucky there is a pandemic. Otherwise, I'd come face to face with you and share my droplets.
I love you, Keith.
I love you too, baby. But here's the thing. So, you know, Mariano to me would have been my first choice. And probably everybody who's not named Tim and Ed is going to get a little upset with me right now. But after that, it would be Derek Jeter.
Oh, no.
See, oh, no. It would be Derek Jeter. I mean, Derek Jeter to me is overrated in a lot of ways. But he is underrated in the sense that he provided a lot of leadership and consistency on the team. And he was in a lot of ways the glue. You know, he's a 300 hitter with semi power. He's not a guy that's going to drive you to the top, but he provided some leadership. He provided the face of the team. He took the pressure off everybody else when things are going bad. I mean, you know,
he almost hit a home run against the Orioles in the playoffs.
I have respect for Derek Jeter. You know, hey, listen.
You want to go down that route? No. Really? You want to go down that route? Okay.
Let's do it.
I kid.
I joke. I kid. But it would be Derek Jeter because that's just my opinion. So
you watch your mouth, Timmy Tamale. You watch your mouth.
Rodriguez, Faraci, and George. Kill me all you want.
And no, you're good. I mean, the guy's a Hall of Famer, so I mean, Tim,
he's overrated in a lot of ways, and I get that, but he's also underrated in a lot of ways. You know, in terms of his leadership and what he provided to those teams that won the championships, in terms of consistency, taking pressure off the other players when they were slumping.
He's a Hall of Famer. How is he underrated?
No, because I think they look at him like if you take Jeter, you could build a team around him. Not necessarily, but Jeter was such an important cog to those championship teams in terms like he was the face of those teams. He was consistent until he got a little older. He was out there all the time, and he took a lot of pressure off the other guys by being the face of the team. And he absorbed a lot of the crap. And sometimes in New York City, you need that kind of player out there. And, he'd make that stupid ass annoying jump throw to first base that I hated and want to punch him in the face every time he did it. But, he was a great player, Jeter. I respect him as a player.
You got to respect him. You got to respect him.
He would be
as much as I hate him for stealing Mariah Carey away from me in the 90s, you got to respect the guy.
I'm sure that was close. I'm sure it was very close.
I had a chance.
I believe you. I'm not. No.
You know what else is great? You know what else is great? After his career, he gets to own the Marlins. So I respect him as a player. He would be my number 2, and I get to see him suffer in Miami because the Marlins suck, and they're never going to get good.
On a side note, I was lucky to once. I was at a Starbucks on the Upper East Side with my wife. I had my Met jersey on. Who comes in Starbucks? Derek Jeter and the little trainer guy, and. I just remember I had my Met jersey on. I told them, I pointed at it. I had to. I'm never going to see him again. So I'm like, it was great.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And he was pretending that he was ignoring me, this little buddy. But he's gone.
I was at a bar, actually, and I pulled next to him in a urinal, and I just turned left and pissed on the shoe as I shook his hand to say hello. No, I'm just kidding. But
you pat on the butt too.
Yeah, I gave him a little pat in the butt. I was just pissing on his shoe and told him to tie his shoelaces later, i.e., Paulie Walnuts. but yeah, no, Derek Jeter. Long-winded answer short. Derek Jeter.
Yeah. All right. So for me, I thought about Jeter. I did, but then I thought, and I'm not comparing the two. So don't.
Wait, was
don't,
it Joe that put that? Larry should have stole a whole new front teeth.
Yes. Yes.
Good job, Joe.
I just thought, during the major portion of that time, we had Jose Reyes, who was in his prime, one of the best shortstop in baseball. I had two, and I'll give you my second one, but the first one is Rivera. I mean,
It's easy.
you get a chance to have the greatest closer in the history of baseball, and if he's not available because Hoffman retired, then you go with Rivera. I'm kidding. Joke. I kid. No, clearly the most dominant closer in the history of the game. Everybody felt comfortable. Yeah. I mean, as a Mets fan, that's respect and jealousy of having that shutdown closer to come in with that one pitch. And we have, and my mom might chime in on this because she's been a Mets fan for a very long time and has dealt with the closers that give just heart attacks. John Franco, Armando Benitez, even Billy Wagner, and then we brought in Braden Looper. All these closers that just, it's never a shutdown situation.
K-Rod. Don't forget K-Rod.
K-Rod. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Made me drop my AirPod. K-Rod, my God, that guy was just like, wow. And then then you go through, there she goes. Bring that up there. That's what my mom feels about Mets closers. Bullpen in general. And now you're bringing in, that just shows how difficult it is to get that lockdown, shutdown closer. It's going to slam the door in the ninth inning. And, you bring in Edwin Diaz, who had 57 saves, shutdown closer for Seattle, and he comes over and he shits the bed almost every game. Gave up 15 home runs in the ninth inning last year. So that's why I went with Rivera. My second pick was going to be Paul O'Neill. Because the man, I knew Timmy would be happy about that, but the man could just rake. Any situation, hitting the ball down the left field line, down the right field line. He was a line to line hitter. Had power to the left, had power to the right. It was just had an amazing arm, an amazing left foot. If he couldn't catch the ball, kick the ball into the infield.
Had amazing little crybaby tantrums. He reminded me of Greg Jeffries, but with a lot more talent.
A lot more talent, and he made the kid very happy on Seinfeld. Kind of.
That he did.
Two home runs, baby.
Paul is actually a good guy.
He's like two.
I've seen things of him.
2 home runs. How could you do that?
Off the field, from what I can tell, I don't know him personally. Off the field, he looks like a really good guy, but on the field, he was a vicious competitor, which translated to a little crybaby sometimes.
And the Yankee, the credit to the Yankees hitting staff back then, because Paul O'Neill was once upon a time he was a 258 hitter.
With the Reds, right?
He comes to the Yankees.
I mean, a 300-foot fence as your power fence kind of helps you become a little.
That does help.
I mean, it does.
So you think he pulled every home run he had like 1 inch over that fence?
Did I say he pulled every home run? I'm said
saying obviously did.
If it's a 300-foot wall in the majors, it's almost like a check frame for most of the guys.
I'm just saying he spread the ball around line to line. That's the kind of hitter he was.
He sure did. He did.
I went to Atlanta, and what was it, 96 when they played Atlanta in the World Series? I went with Fred and my friend Craig. And
Leyritz home run.
Paul O'Neill flied out to right. It was just one at bat. And the whole entire stadium overreacted to his fly ball.
Because it was gone?
Yeah, they thought it was gone, and they way overreacted. But, being a New York baseball fan, you're at the stadium all the time, you can judge a ball, and it's not gone. For the crack of the bat, it's not gone. And I yelled out some criticism of all the fans. And Fred, maybe I'll bring Fred on one day to tell a story too with me. Half the section turned on me, and I had to call security because I had about 75 Braves fans trying to beat me up, and I'm cursing them out, yelling at them, and then I realized I was completely outnumbered. I'm about to get my ass whooped, and I started calling security. Security!
Security!
I'm a Met fan at a Yankee World Series game. Anyway.
Well, what security is? Security looked at you and said, "Oh, you can take care of yourself."
They didn't do nothing. I had to eventually leave, and that's also when I discovered another thing about the Braves. When we went back inside the stadium, we were walking around while the game was being played outside. They play artificial crowd noise inside.
Wow.
Little hint. Yeah, Braves play artificial
in Craplana. So they pull the Seattle Seahawks.
They do a
So
little.
they were ahead of the game.
Noise.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. They saw this coming. Let's catch up with the comments a little bit here. Met should trade for Honus Wagner. Going a little too far back there. Yes, Chris Kelly. Yes, you are. What do you guys think about the cardboard cutouts? I know you. The Yankees are too. Is it that they're too classy to have cardboard cutouts?
I don't know. They're not the only team that opted not to do that. I know.
I
have no idea why they did or didn't. I mean, they're cool. I have no issue with them. We talked about it on our show. I have no problem with it. I actually, I think it's only the Oakland A's that are doing it, where if the ball actually lands on your cutout, they're sending it to you. I
saw another. It might be the Pirates. Somebody posted somewhere a letter saying you recently were at a Pittsburgh Pirates game. Your cutout got hit by the ball. Here's the ball.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that I really like.
That is pretty good because look, it took me. I caught my very first foul ball ever 2 years ago down in Marlins Park, and because. First of all, you have a whole section to yourself down here in Miami. Rodriguez and Keith and myself went to one of the games down here, and the Marlins pitcher was throwing a no-hitter. It was in the 6th inning, and I said, "Keith, do something," because Keith has the jinx. So he starts screaming, "You're throwing a no-hitter! The Mets don't have any hits. You're throwing a no-hitter!" And
we were about 10 yards back from home plate.
Yeah, so
the pitcher heard me, and the place is empty.
The announced crowd was about 6,500 people, and for a Mets game, that's super low down here because you always expect. And Rodriguez and Keith and Joe can attest to that. The bigger crowds down here, if there's ever a big crowd, it's Mets, Yankees, Red Sox, Cubs, those kind of teams.
Yeah.
But it was just so empty in there, and it's a dome now.
And
so Keith is screaming. The fans down the right field line are booing Keith. That's how his voice His voice carries in general. He's a very loud voice. But add the dome to it, and it's just echoing all over. And fans are starting to boo Keith. But he relentless. He keeps it going, and then the Mets obviously got a hit there.
One fan said, Rodriguez, remember that one fan said, "Shut up!" And I turned around and said, "Make me!"
And they're like, "Nope." No, but that's good times. But a little bit later that year, Noah Syndergaard hit a foul ball. I'm behind home plate, towards the third base line. It goes over my head, and I'm like, "That's gonna hit off the facade. It's gonna come right back to me." I turn around, and I lean as far as I can stretch over to my left. And it hits off the tip of my finger, hits off the back of a seat, nails my wife in the back. And I grab the ball, and I'm like this. I got the ball. Baby, okay? but I mean, how many games have I been to over the course of my my life at Shea Stadium countless times and down here?
I got
took all that time.
2 heartbreaking stories like that. 2.
Do tell.
1, Jackie Robinson Day in Shea Stadium. We're sitting down low. We got the down low.
We were there, Keith.
With the railings and everything, with those heavy ass railings you're sitting in the box seat.
Yes.
And I'm looking at bubbles. This little kid is blowing bubbles, and I'm fascinated by the bubbles. All of a sudden, I hear boom, tink, The ball literally landed on my railing about 7 inches away from me. And it went straight up in the air up to the second deck. I said, wow, I could have caught that ball.
The bubbles.
So I always have to cut the bubbles.
Tim, tell me your most dangerous foul ball story.
Wait. Let me tell you the most heartbreaking story in the history of mankind.
Mankind.
Hold on a second, please. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yankee Stadium, the old Yankee Stadium that had the alleyway where the ambulance was between the bleachers and the right field section. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Jorge Posada hits the home run into the alley. I stick my whole body out into the railing. The ball's in my hands. It rolls off me, it's like between my legs, and some asshole behind me grabs it. And he puts it in the air like he caught it. And I'm looking at him, staring at him. My friend goes, dude. He's like, don't do it. I was like, I want the fucking ball. The guy's looking at me. I said, I want the fucking ball. And the guy, forget it, security had to come over. I was heartbroken. And the worst part is I get home. My cousin Ron goes, did you catch a fucking home run on TV?
Oh, my God.
I was like, dude, shut up. I'm going to bed. He actually called me. He saw me on TV with that ball.
Oh.
Great.
So
Well,
that's it. Heartbreaking.
When me and Keith were like 13, 14 years old, we were, Shea Stadium. We snuck into box seats. Somebody, we're down the first base, first base of the orange seats. Somebody hits a pop-up. Me and Keith look like we have it. It's coming right at us. We're not that big then. And I hit right off my middle finger. 2 fucking giants or 3 giants behind us knocked us over or pushed me out of the way and took the fucking ball. I was
Is it the game we had those balloon things in our head?
Yes, it was like, yes. We had like a whole bunch of rally balloons, like with animals on our heads.
Yeah.
And the pop-up came right at us. And I still could feel it right on my middle finger. And then as soon as it touched my middle finger, I felt like it was WWE. I got nailed in the back by Sting or someone. And I was
a steel chair.
And me and George on the floor like, ugh.
Yeah, they didn't give a shit.
George and I used to go to so many games that we were actually on about 30% of the highlights they'd play in between innings on Diamond Vision.
I can send you another video that I'm in center field in City Field. I don't know who's hitting the ball. I'm there with my cousin, and they're hitting it into the black. I'm at the last seat where, before the black section is where you can't sit, and you see my arm right there and the ball coming. I'm reaching over. If you reach too far over, you're going to fall down. And you see me. I showed it to my wife the other day. I'm like, look, there I am. And I'm freaking dying. And if you fall down, you're falling down, I don't know, maybe like 10, 12 feet or some shit. Oh, God.
Oh, that's it. We have breaking news. Chris Kelly, the Braves fan, choose used gum. That is breaking news out of Craplana down there. He's well, Tim, you might have been gone, but Chris Kelly, he's a Braves fan. He's watching the show, and Braves fan.
He's a Braves fan and
a
Rodriguez fan.
What are you doing being a Braves fan?
Hey, read the next comment. Eddie's comment. What does that say?
First home run stories.
Which first home run stories?
Eddie, sorry, we talked about him already, so you tuned in obviously late. We talked about him on the Giants show, so obviously you're not a Giants fan, so you're even less worthy of hearing it. And
let's
we're
be nice, Keith.
At some point. No, don't tell me that I'm not a Mets fan.
Well,
Hold on.
I was gonna break balls and say, yeah, we already talked about the Yankee announcers from the early '80s. What are you talking about?
You're not listening. So you're not a Put in the Books show fan.
Eddie, listen. We did a Giants show yesterday, and the news happened to break during the Giants show, so we did kind of talk through a couple minutes of that. It happened live on air, where to the point where I had to verify that it actually happened before I announced it. But the Put It in the Book show will obviously have a huge part of the show next week dedicated to Tom Seaver. But this is a Subway Series special. Tom Seaver never participated in the Subway Series, but we did raise a beer and a toast and whatever everybody is drinking to
franchise.
Actually, my father said, George, you bleed blue and orange.
Mr. Laris, what's up, Mr. Laris?
Coming from Pop.
Mr. Laris caught a 22-incher.
A 22-inch bass out of a canal here in Florida.
Wow.
First of all, after
Mr. Laris, by the way.
After the COVID thing, me, Rodriguez, Keith, anybody else who wants to come down, Joe, we're going fishing. We talked about that already. So,
yeah, we're gonna do a Keys. Either Keys or Fort Lauderdale, or even up in Palm Beach, we could do a charter boat. It's easy peasy there. They cut up your bait and do everything for you. All you gotta do is bring the beer and hang out.
That's exactly what I want. Nice and
Look
easy.
at Justin. Hey, Justin, love you. Justin was here. Justin just popped up randomly. Actually, for me it was randomly, but he had a text and I didn't see my text. And him and I were watching the game, and he was trash talking Justin Wilson. Oh my goodness, and rightfully so. He said this guy just sucks this year. But after all the trash talk Justin did, we came back and won. So yeah, Justin, you're right. Love you, Justin.
By the way, right before you guys came on, Keith texted me, George, we're going to get on right after this Peter Alonso home run. Literally 1 minute later. 1 minute later. I'm like, oh shit, Keith just predicted this.
Well, I should have predicted it in the ninth. I said a bloop and a blast, and this jerk, Billy Hamilton, gets thrown at third base.
Well,
I would have thrown him off the team if we lost that game.
It's funny. Love you too, Jess. It's funny, right? Because I did a video and it only recorded the first 8 seconds. The video was.
We sent it twice too.
Yeah, well, that was an accident. It was supposed to be the full video. I don't know why I cut it off. And I started the video with Pete. I showed the game and I turned around and said, as he came up to bat, Pete, you're Peter again. Earn Pete again. And I turned it back and he hit the home run. It would have been so classic if that worked out. But anyway.
Rodriguez,
at least
you see
I got George to, attest that I called it.
You see what Mr. Cully is saying in the comments? Marlins fishing, Rodriguez only knows crabs. All right. So Smoltz was really good. Okay, yeah. So we had a couple Braves fans join us today, amongst the Mets and the Yankees fans.
That's really random.
That's random.
Yes. All right. So it turns out Eddie was just busting your chops because he seems to be a Braves fan, Keith.
Yeah, and I wasn't even really mad at him.
Talking about small. You're never mad at anybody. All right.
I was going to say, most of the Braves fans that I know, they're not really. They're like a couple teams. They like the Braves. They like the Mets. The people that I know, they're not like 100% all. They like a couple different teams. The ones that I know. I don't know any diehard Atlanta fans.
I don't know any Braves fans. I know. Well, we know the two that are here, but I don't know personally any Braves fans. Thankfully,
they're not diehard. I don't think. I mean, of course.
And Ed's thinking. Ed's thinking.
No, I know one.
Fan?
One guy on my softball team's like claiming that he is, but I always do the thing. Listen, if you can't name 5 players in the active roster, you're not.
That's it.
Yeah,
so
that's the thing. It's not asking a lot.
Exactly. That used to be my friend Fez. Actually, I said, Fez, before you, now Fez knows. But I got, Fez would argue. I'm like, Fez, please. And now he has more knowledge. But
well, Fez is a world-class arguer.
So we gotta have him on the show one day then.
No. It would be really show. I love Fez. I've known him and his family since I was in kindergarten. Love him with all my heart, but no.
Diana, so sorry to hear. Diana says I live in North Carolina, surrounded by Braves fans.
What?
Hold on, Rodriguez. Repeat what you just said.
I forgot what I said.
It's Turtable.
Oh, it's Turtable. Yeah.
Tom says he lives in Atlanta. It's a college football town. No real passion for anything else. Actually, okay. Let me take a step back because I visited Atlanta for work last year, and one of the guys there is like, yeah, I'm a Braves fan as much as everybody else is a Braves fan. And,
exactly.
Not a lot.
Not a lot. He said most of the fans that go to the stadium go because they do discounts where if you buy a ticket to the game, there's a really big entertainment area around that ballpark.
Is it the new ballpark you're talking about?
Yeah, just because I went there last year. Braves, the bars and restaurants and all that stuff around. So they said that they do a lot of, if you buy, a seat to a game, you get a free drink at this restaurant or this bar. So he said most of them are just drunks that pay for the seat and get a drink.
Exactly.
So when I first moved to Florida, my friend Chris, you start meeting people, start hanging out with people, stuff like that. My friend Chris was like so diehard about the Marlins, and I was like, "You're really a Marlins fan?" He goes, "Yeah," and I said, my whole life I never really understood that that's a thing. Somebody's actually a Marlins fan. I thought it was all a made up fairy tale. He got all pissed off at me. But like, who's a Marlins fan? Like,
I never met a Marlins fan.
right.
I know some Rays fans in Tampa.
I know
legitimate Rays
one.
fans.
But that's more respectable.
Yeah.
Hold on, Rodriguez. We the last real Marlins fan that I can remember is when we did the opening at First Data Field in Port St. Lucie. And do you remember what we wanted to do? Remember what we said after a few drinks?
We were going to
do to him?
We were going to throw him right out. We were going to throw him right over the leg onto the field. This guy was the most annoying, condescending.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God. Dude, shut up. Keith, I know Keith, all he had to do was get the word. That kid would have went over.
Keith was just going to throw him out like it was in the Royal Rumble. But I was like,
That's true.
Let's be nice and let him bounce off the awning. The other two weren't having it. They were like, no. Straight to the concrete. He was
George
annoying.
and Tim will tell you, I have little patience at games when people are assholes and I get right in their face and have no issue.
Yeah. We need to YouTube an old Carlos Baerga game.
Oh,
we need to YouTube it because you'll hear Keith all over that whole broad.
Yeah, well, there was one game actually, we'll get into it in detail in another story. Just tune into the Put in the Book show. But there was one game actually where we went to the Baerga it was a disaster. I think it was Irish Night actually, right, George? And he struck out, I think, with runners on base, 3 at bats. Then he gets up in the 9th inning with nobody on, and I was chastising him. And we moved down at that point because the whole stadium emptied out, and we were like kind of behind the Mets dugout, and I was chastising him, yelling so loud to the point where Bob Murphy and the TV crew were actually talking about me. They had a camera on me, and they're like, "Look how frustrated the Mets fans are." And I'm just like screaming at this guy, "Baerga, can I get a hit, please?" He gets a base hit. He gets on first base. What does Baerga do? Right, George? Looks at me. And when he looks at me, I think it's a base hit. I'm like, "Congratulations, a base hit with nobody on, you jerk. You're still a loser." And he said that, he looked away.
Yeah, you were out of your lungs.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't speak the next day. My voice was gone the next day for sure. Yeah. Yeah,
that's a good job by you, Keith.
Yeah, Tim and George will tell you, I was the guy that got the players' attention. We even had Deion Sanders call. It was me, George, Fred, I think was there. I forget who else. We tortured Deion Sanders when he was on the Reds so bad. The next day in the paper, he quoted, New York fans are the devil." Yes.
Good job.
Yes.
All right, let's get ready to wrap this bad boy up. Let's go round robin as I typically like to do. Any last minute thoughts here? Could be on the season and just anything that you want to say to the viewers out there. Keith, we'll start with you.
I just want 3 games out of 4 against the Phillies. I want to get into the playoffs. Once we're in there, we have what it takes to be dangerous and go all the way. Let's go Mets. And it's crunch time. Let's do it, guys. Win
crunch
some
time.
games.
With 22, 23 games left. Rodriguez, any final thoughts here?
This is the most civil Subway Series conversation that I never wanted to be a part of. So I can't wait till we both meet in the playoffs.
And, we'll do it again, baby.
God willing, it's for the WF, for the World Series, and even this year, I don't care. If we meet in the playoffs, it'll be a little more fun.
Oh, we'll do a daily show.
I mean, it'll be
we'll do it daily
for real. Then
it'll be the real deal Subway Series. It's the 28th anniversary.
This is
Nah.
true.
No,
Magic is
you
gonna
never
happen.
know. It'll be magic for us.
Ed,
For sure.
Ed, what you got for final thoughts?
Yeah, like, listen, the Yanks got to get healthy going down the stretch. They're another one that they can get their healthy team on the field. I take their chances against anybody in the playoffs. Winning the division, it's unlikely, but whatever. Just get in. There's no real home field advantage. We're probably going to be playing the playoffs in the bubble anyway. So just get right and get going into the playoffs. So, I'll second Rodriguez too. That was great time doing the show with you guys. Very civil, lots of laughs. So, love to do it again. Love to do it in a World Series, Subway Series show.
That would be great. That would be.
If we could do that, that would be awesome.
From your lips to God's ears.
I don't know how civil it would be then.
That's fine. We've done the civil show.
But we get that other way.
We'll see how it goes.
This is our civil show. Next time, forget it.
Next time there will be blood.
I am definitely, if that happens, bringing my secret weapon, George.
That's a secret
Georgie.
Sorry, guys.
I try to stay in the dungeon.
No, you haven't witnessed George in the anger. You're telling him that he has to lose mode. Yeah.
All right. Let's head over to Timmy. Closing thoughts tonight.
Yeah, I won't do that show. That's not going to be so.
Because George is going to be there, or
no, I love hearing George's arguments. I've been hearing them for 30 years, man. I love them. Empire 161 Thursday, Just 2 next week. We stomp you out next week. Everyone just be safe. Stop being stupid. Wear your mask. Batman's sick. The Rock.
Yeah.
The Batman and the Rock. Anybody can. So stop being stupid. Go Yankees.
boom.
Facts. Let's go Yanks.
Yeah. Real quick, just going to go through the last few comments here. Millie said we used to go to Shea parking lot just to hear the game, barbecue, watch the fireworks. And then, I don't know who invited this Chris guy, but he said, hey, Millie, I bet the barbecue is better than the game.
How about those old school Mets parking lot shopping cart pretzels?
Yeah?
Who doesn't know that?
That was outside of Giant Stadium, too. They used to have that freaking thing.
They still have
these pretzels.
George and I
are making me thirsty.
Yeah, we
my father used
after
to
the
go nuts
game.
for them.
Amazing. Anyway.
All right,
Guys,
George, our
guys,
special guest.
I also want to say thank you guys for inviting me on the show. Definitely we'll do it definitely again. And, awesome. And this was very simple. And as far as the baseball season, I just hope we get in. And once you get in, see what happens.
You never know.
17 teams are getting in. You're getting in.
Yeah, exactly. Just get in. It doesn't matter if you're first, second. Just get in.
Right now, the Marlins are in the playoffs right now, so we gotta conquer the Marlins. All right. Closing thoughts for me. For the site tomorrow. What's today? The days are just melding together this year. But tomorrow could be Thursday, Friday Eve. But tomorrow night, the Jader and Kyle show, they'll be on tomorrow night, and then next week, like Tim said, fresh new round of shows. The Just Too Sweet show, the Put in the Book show, We Stomped You Out show, the Empire 161 show, and then every now and then we're gonna get a 4-quarter show from Dave, and surprise, there's a 4-quarter show up. And then again next week, back to the Jader and Kyle show, talking movies and all that goodness out there. So, look, we appreciate you watching today. It was our first ever crossover episode. Mets and Yankees. We showed that we can coexist. We will show that we cannot coexist if we meet in the World Series. But until then, we will bid you a adieu for the evening, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Great job,
Peace out,
Later,
everybody.
guys. Great show. Thanks again. Later, guys.
Peace.